Hello, it's Rachel from Caramel and Cream. Today's project is going to be a sweet little box using some of the new products that are coming in the new brochure. I'm going to be using the stamp set Pop of Paradise, which has pineapple, leaves, lovely flamingo and some little sentiments. And we're also going to use the matching designer series paper, which is called Pop of Pink. If you haven't seen my other video, which was just showing you some of the samples of bits that are coming, just give you a quick flick again of some of the papers. These are bright pinks, blacks and whites. Absolutely gorgeous papers. You can see we've cut bits off where we're going to use. The pink that's in it is actually Melon Mambo, just so you need, if you want to order cardstock that will match. Stuck down. I think these will be really funky for teenage girls as well. And all the Sweet 16 parties that might be coming up soon, the holidays upon us. And then you also have two sheets that are Whisper White with lovely gold. I don't know if you can catch that in the light there. It's like a gold foil. And this one's the same, and sort of a speckled. Reminds me of the hundreds and thousands. Okay, let's just move those out of the way. You need your envelope punch board for this project. This is really simple. It makes envelopes, but also it's going to make a small box, which we're going to use today. Just when we're lining up with the score marks, we're using this little notch here. Just so you know, when I'm talking about line up your score marks, we're lining up with the little notch that's on here. All your measurements are along here, and these are your details if you were just making a normal envelope. You have a little scoring tool there at the side. So we're starting off with a piece of Melon Mambo cardstock, which measures 5.5 by 5.5. And we're going to line it up first at the 2 mark along the top. You're going to punch, press down hard, punch and score, and then we're going to slide it along to the 3. So don't turn it at the moment, just slide it along to the 3 mark here. Again, punch and score. Now you can see we've 2 score lines now. Now we're going to rotate it, and where I showed you the little bit that's on here, the little plastic notch, line that up to your first score mark. So don't worry about the numbers along the top anymore, we're lining up to our score marks. I'm just going to punch and score, slide along to our next score mark, punch and score, rotate again, lining up again with our score marks, punch and score, punch and score, round again to the final side, slide along. Okay, so they end up with this kind of shape, and you can see hopefully the score marks there. Hope you're picking that up. So in the back of your envelope punch board you have this little section here. If you put in your pointy edges, push in level as far as it'll go, push down, you can see it just gives a nice rounded edge. So do that on all 4 corners. And then we're done with the punch board, so we can just move that out of our way and the little bits with it. And I'm just going to fold and burnish all along the score lines. You can use your tool from the envelope punch board for this as well. It'll work just as well. Okay. And if you notice, we have 2 pieces that are slightly wider, 2 pieces that are slightly narrow. So you want to hold it in the way that the narrow folds, I suppose, are at the top and bottom. Then taking our scissors, we're just going to cut up this line here, just up to the first score mark, and the same on this side. So just cut up And just notch it a little bit as well if you want to. You don't have to, but it just helps when you're folding the box in a moment. And then turn it all the way around. Again, just up the little to the first score line. And the same on the last side. So now you can sort of see how we're starting to come together. You see we're going to fold in like so, and then this will be the top. So firstly, on these two little flaps here, you're going to fold them up and put glue here. I'm going to use Tombow for this, but you could use Fuse if you have it. You could use Snail, but I wouldn't recommend it because it's not quite strong enough to hold. So we have our glue on our flaps, and then we're just going to bring it in and line up at the edge there, just so the corners are nice and neat. I'm just going to press and hold for a moment, just because Tombow does take that little minute to dry. And then the same on the other side, just fold in so your edges line up nicely. And again, just pressing to hold it a moment. Okay, now this bit is going to fold in here. So the first flap is going to come over so you can see where it goes. So if I just put a little bit of glue along this side, I know it's not going to ooze out onto the bit that's going to be shown. So I'm just going to run a little bit of Tombow along that edge. And just fold that over. Try and keep your box so it's nicely squared. You don't want to push in too far into a nice box shape. You can just pop your fingers inside there just to help hold it. And again, fold your other side and look where it's going to be. We could just run along this edge here. Oh, not quite long enough, but let's go with it. Okay, just hold those for a moment to hopefully catch those. Like I say, if you use the strip tape or the fast fuse, it is a lot quicker than using the Tombow that I'm using. That should be okay now, let's see. And then for the top, you're just going to fold in like so, just push it into place. So that's more or less your box made. So we'll flip over, so this is the back and the front. So I have a piece of the designer series paper from the pack that I showed you earlier. This measures by 2 3/4. Just looking at that now, and that's actually going to be a little bit too big. So let's just trim that down. I just have my trimmer. Let's have a look and see where we want to be. Okay, let's just trim down and see where we go. We just want it so it has a nice border around. There we go, that will do fine. It's just so it has a nice border around so you can still see the nice pink. I'm just going to use some snail for this, just to stick it onto the front of the box. Centre as you can so you have the border all the way around. I will put the measurements of this piece of DSP in the comments below in the description bar just so you can measure it. I'm not sure where I went wrong with the measurements there, so sorry about that. Okay, so we have that there. Now we're going to use the stamp set. Just move this to the side. Pop of Paradise, and I'm going to use the Hello. So I have that mounted up onto a block, and the Melon Mambo ink, just so it all ties in. I'm just going to push that down there. This looks darker when it's first stamped, but it actually does lighten up as it dries, just slightly. This is the 1 1/4 inch punch, which just fits round nicely, you can see there. Now I don't have the next size punch, and I wanted to have a little bit of a border around so that when we fitted it to our box it wasn't just flat. So I have the circle framelets, and I basically had a look at which one would fit round next with a nice edge. So this was the size that came. So just if you have the next size in the punch, go with that. If you haven't, use a framelit, and as you can see I've just run that through the big shot there. So again, a little bit of snail on the back of there just to attach. And I should have really brought some dimensionals out, but I haven't, so let's keep going. Then I have some of the new Melon Mambo Thick Baker's Twine, which I'm going to use. I've not even opened this, look, you can see still have the little sticky piece on. So I want to make sure it's going to be long enough to go around the box. Cut a piece off. And then also, just to add a little bit of extra interest, I have some of our gold trim. I'm going to do the same, just making sure I have long enough to go around the box. I'm going to try and hold these together, the edges together. Let's try and make them the same length, that might help. And we're just going to, this will just help keep the box tied together as well. Whoops. I watch people doing this and I think surely it can't be that hard tying bows and things on camera. And there, here I am now. Probably not the best idea tying two things together at once, but we're just going to centre it there. Oops, no, it doesn't want to stay. Centre it there and try and hold my box down, all fingers and thumbs. Push it through so we can just tie a knot on the top. And this will just keep your box closed, and the box will be lovely with some little sweeties in. I'll just trim off the edges. I just like the mixture of the two together, I just think it looks really pretty. It just adds that little bit of extra interest. Then lastly, I'm just going to use Tombow for this because, like I say, I've forgotten the dimensionals. So just a splodge on the back and stick that over on the front. It will take a minute, but then it will just fit nicely and hold that ribbon down into place. So there you have, just let it hold, a cute little box. Really easy to make. I've probably made it look more difficult than it is, so sorry about that. But it's just I wanted to showcase the new products that are coming. And it's just unstick. If you use dimensionals and stick either side, it will just hold your trim into place in the middle there, and it will just sit more flush than what mine's doing. Mine's wobbling to one side because it's not quite level. But you get the idea. Like I say, it's just showing off the new Pop of Paradise stamp set, the designer series papers that are coming. So I'll be in the brochure from June. You can order from my blog if you pop on over to there. All the details will be in the bar below. Hope you like it, hope you give it a go, and pop back soon. Bye.